The only thing we have to fear is beer itself.
Beer. So many choices.
Only no function beer well without.
Woohoo! Beer!
Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Busters, where we're going to bring you the news and reviews of some wonderful brews. My name is Dan Baker, joined by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hefner,
who almost forgot to say her name, and our fermenter-tainer,
Wayne Baker.
Now today, I think we have a record on our hands today.
Oh, we do?
The quickest repeat that we've had of any guest. And we have, of course, with us Mr.
Stemler.
First name John.
Stebler. John
Stemler.
Stebler.
no one's ever done that. I
All
love
right,
it.
all right. But
I'd like to point out, as far as timelines go, that John is our even faster repeat in real time than he is in podcast
Yes,
time.
yes.
So chew on that.
Yes. Let that blow your podcast mind.
Yes.
And, well, this is the first episode that we get to spend the entire episode with you, which I'm very excited for.
Yes.
So thank you for
that
having
means
us.
we get to drink his beer for an entire episode.
Exactly.
Yes.
So thank you for having us out here on location. Sure. For anybody who is not familiar where you are from, Free Will Brewing Company. And you should know it, and you should love it, and you should drink it.
Absolutely.
Yes. Now, I have to note, before we go into the news, we have a sipping beer.
We do.
What are we sipping on?
Our Pilsner.
Ooh.
Nice and easy.
Yeah.
And you said this is one you drink all the time.
Oh, yeah. A lot of it.
A lot of it, yeah. It is an easy drinking beer. It's nice and refreshing.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, it's really good. It's easy drinking, but interesting enough.
It's
You know,
refreshing.
it's very refreshing.
Very
Yeah.
refreshing.
Considering the ridiculous weather we've been having, it feels like August, and it's
Yeah.
not August yet. So
Yeah.
this is very nice.
Yeah. I like it.
5%, nice and hoppy. Just what you
Ooh.
want. And lager.
And after
lager.
the quick meal we just had, thanks to Ken.
Kenny Correll. He owns Ben's Catering, Ben's Barbecue. It's opening in Ben Salem, and he's co-owner of Memphis Tap Room.
Ah, there you go.
My favorite place on the
That
face of the earth.
food is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steph's had us there a few times, and whew,
It's possibly the best mac and cheese I've ever had.
it ranks.
Yeah, it's really good.
Don't go swimming for at least a half an hour.
Is there a pool?
Well, there's a stream behind us.
All right, we could do that.
Go there,
Yeah, after we're done, we'll take some Pilsner, we'll go in the stream, and we'll be good. All right.
So
Well,
thank you, Ken.
yes, thank you to Ken for the food. It's delicious. And yeah, let's do some news. Through the magic of technology, I have the news in front of me. Now, it's actually a little different. It's not like a news story because I couldn't actually find much that was worth reporting on. But if you have been living under a rock or you just don't look at the internet, Philly Beer Week is happening.
Yes, it is.
And it starts
Today!
as of the release of this episode. We're not like the kickoff of it, but like you can hear this while you're on your way to opening tap or wherever. So I picked out a few choice events that I wanted to kind of throw out there. Just for the first few days, there's so many events. You can't have like one highlight list. There's something going on every hour of every day for a week and a half. It's the extended week, as I like to call it. It's Friday, May 29th today through Sunday, June 7th. Now, your opening tap event is going to be 6 to 10 at the 23rd Street Armory. Tickets are required. It's $46. Hopefully, if you are on your way there, you have it, or they're not sold out and you can get one when you're there. But they're going to be featuring breweries. You're going to have Barron Hill, Conshohocken, Dock Street, Evil Genius, Fegley's, Rock Bottom. You have Lancaster Brewing Company, Shawnee Crafts, Live Fox, Flying Fish, Free Will, St. Boniface Trogs, Yingling Pen Brewery. And there are other events going on leading up to that. They're like relay events for the Hammer of Glory. So, which it took me a few minutes to realize that Hog was Hammer of Glory.
Yeah, it's
I was
HOG.
like, yeah, I was like, what is this pig doing there?
Since when is there a pig involved?
Yeah, I didn't know there was a pig. But you have one event I'm really looking forward to is it actually starts during opening tap, but it goes through midnight that night. Nick Johnson, who is a former Beer Busters guest from Trogs, he is hosting a duck hunt event, as in Nintendo Duck Hunt. It's 9 to 12 at a place called The Industry, which I believe is in South Philly. So if you get to go there, apparently, according to the event listing on phillybeerweek.org, he has been named the fastest plastic gun in the East.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Will there be someone there dressed up as the dog
I
to
hope
laugh
so.
at you? If
Oh, I hope so. That would be awesome. There's going to be a bunch of tap takeovers. Then you have on Saturday the 30th, tomorrow, if you're listening to this as of release day, there's the Victory Imperial Brunch, which is 10 to 3 at the Dandelion. Sam Adams and Philly Fair Trade Brunch of epic proportions, they call it. 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Industry, same place as the Duck Hunt. You have It's a Firkin Riot, which is going to be at Johnny Brenda's, which is 12 to 12.
That's always a great event.
Yeah, so I've heard. It's going to have Conshohocken, Dock Street, Dogfish Head, Manayunk, Free Will is going to be there. River Horse, Victory, Weyerbacher, Stats, Trogs Yards, Philly Brewing Company, and more. This one I think is kind of cool. A place that when we were at Second Story, John Weibel was mentioning, the Victoria Free House. They have a Ren Fair.
Really?
Yeah.
A Philly Beer Week Ren
Yeah,
Fair?
3 p.m. to 6 p.m. There's going to be mead, and I think it even said like a leg of fowl for a couple of dollars.
Nice. Pickles on a stick.
Free pickle when you buy a stick. On Sunday, you're going to have the Hardywood Brunch, which is at Devil's Den. Great place. I love that place. 10:30 to 3. East Passyunk Craft Beer Day is going to be 11 a.m. to midnight, which is going to have Flying Fish, Free Will, again, Trogs, Victory, Manayunk. There's going to be a taco brunch with Lancaster Brewing Company at Whole Foods Plymouth Meeting, which is 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Don't even have to drive into the city.
Here is what I'm most excited for besides the Duck Hunt. You have, at the Victoria Free House again, Bacon and Beer Brunch. LARPing, yeah, anyway. The Bacon and Beer Brunch is 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. There's also one that I like, Wells and Young's. They're a British brewery. They're going to be at Memphis Tap Room, 12 p.m. to, I can't tell if I've made a typo or not. It's actually 2 a.m., but I'm assuming it's really 2 p.m. Check phillybeerweek.org. But they are the ones that do Young's Double Chocolate Stout. They have, there were some other ones. I forget what else they have. But there's some good beer that comes from them.
Banana bread.
Banana
Yes.
bread,
Oh,
that's
yes,
the other
banana
one.
bread.
Thank you.
They have a figgy pudding or something like that. Taffy
Yeah.
pudding, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get to try that one. The banana breads. Ooh. That's good. Ooh, that's good.
That is your kind of beer.
Yes.
Memphis Taproom does their no repeat tap list during all of Philly Beer Week as well. That every day it's a different tap list, and you can go in and see the big sheet, and they'll highlight what's on tap. You kind of peek and see what else is going to be on.
Oh, that's
So,
cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can stop in there a couple times.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if we're allowed to really give much information because I don't think we have much information, but
I have information.
you have information. Steph has information. Breaking news. Steph has information on an event that we will be part of on this same day, Sunday, May 31st. We are involved in a scavenger hunt with the guys at Evil Genius.
Of course, it would be a scavenger hunt because the Evil Genius guys always come up with crazy ideas for events.
Yes.
Like they did the cocktail contest for Harrisburg Beer Week,
Which
using their
that
beer.
looked awesome. I'm
That
really
was
upset I
pretty
couldn't
cool.
make it to that.
So it's the kind of event they would do.
On Sunday, May 31st, the guys at Evil Genius are hosting a scavenger hunt through 4 bars in Old City, Philadelphia. It begins at noon, and we, the 3 of us, the Beer Busters, will be at the final location. So those of you that make it there, in order to win your final token on the scavenger hunt, you have to play Happy Fun Time games with us.
Yes.
That's
Which
going
is
to be awesome.
sort of cool. And the final location will also have lots of Evil Genius beers on tap. We'll have some prizes to give away, and we'll have T-shirts on sale. But we are very, very excited to be partnering with the awesome Evil Geniuses on our first official Philly Beer Week event.
Yeah, how awesome is that?
We've covered events before here and there, but we're actually
We
part
are now
of one.
part of a Philly Beer
We're,
Week
we're a
event.
thing.
Yeah, it's a thing.
It's a thing.
Yes.
That's
In
awesome.
it-
I'm
in
very.
it,
What?
bomb-proof bunker at an undisclosed location
Yes,
at the end of the
exactly.
scavenger hunt.
Yeah,
That I accidentally almost gave away.
almost. But through the magic of editing, nobody outside of this room knows. But if you see John there on Sunday, then we know.
Just follow John's step.
I already forgot.
Well, keep your eyes out for that. A few more events kind of worth noting. On Monday, June 1st, there is Beer School with Tommy Arthur, which is going to be 12 to 2
Tommy.
at Memphis Tap Room. Dogfish Head and Wells and Young are going to be at Local 44 in West Philly. I love that place.
Yeah.
But it's going to be Sam and Jim Robertson are going to be there. And for when you are in your bacon overload from the Bacon and Beer Brunch, Trinity Brewery is hosting a vegan lunch at Monk's Cafe
Wait,
from 12
what?
to 2.
What?
That's our
what?
only event.
What?
Whoa,
A
what?
vegan lunch
Yep.
at Monk's?
Yep.
With Trinity.
Yep.
Jason
12 to
Yester's coming in.
There you go.
I need another personal day.
There you go.
That night is also the Extreme Homebrew Fest.
Yes.
Which our friends Chris Harvey and Dean Pierce are pouring
Yes.
at
All
Jose
right.
Pistola's.
Yes.
All three of us went to
We
that
were there
event
last year. It was
year,
a really
and
awesome
that was
event.
a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
Yeah.
Lots of really good,
Yeah.
crazy beers.
There was a oh god, what was it? It was like a what's the fruit that's in a pina colada?
Pineapple, coconut.
Coconut. It was a coconut like
dragon fruit,
Hashtag
pomegranate.
Again.
I wanted to say pineapple, but I knew it wasn't. No, it was coconut. It was like a coconut vanilla porter that somebody had.
Yes, I do remember that.
That was
was
so
really
good.
Yeah.
Rum
Yeah.
fruit. Rum.
Yeah,
Lots of rum.
fruit. Yes.
Rum fruit, yes.
They're also on the first. Deschutes is doing a Meet the Brewer brunch at the Industry, same place that is doing the duck hunt from 12 to 4. This is cool. Oh my gosh, it's Allegang. 5 to 10 at Good Dog Bar.
I like that.
It's
That wasn't a mistake?
Yeah, no, believe it or not.
That's awesome.
Omegang and Allagash are doing a tap takeoff. And Good Dog Bar is really cool. It's nice little,
Yeah.
I don't want to call it a hole in the wall, but it's a nice little cozy place with really cool stuff on the wall. Second Story is doing their barrel aged beer night that night, and I'm hoping that is the debut of the vanilla flavored.
The bourbon
Yeah, the
barrel
bourbon aged one, because they are doing it in their dad's hat.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
There's so many more events, and I wish I could have the time to go over them all, but to be honest, I'd get super tired of reading it.
Yeah, this episode would be like 3 hours long.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it'd be like 15 minutes interviewing John the rest of the
Yeah.
Beer Week. events.
PhillyBeerWeek.org.
Yes, there's over
Download
50
the app.
Yeah, download the app, the official app, iPhone and Android. Sorry, Windows and BlackBerry. But there's over 50 breweries and what looks to be over 1,000 events.
It's stupid.
Yeah,
It's a stupid
it's-
amount of events.
Yeah, like you can
Don't do them all.
You
You
can
can't.
do so much throughout that week and still
Evil
have
die.
missed so much more.
Yeah.
which is what I love, and it's the best beer city in
In
the
the
world.
world.
In
Amen.
the world.
That's right. And one quick little last word on Philly Beer Week. The really awesome thing, and you mentioned, I know the event in Plymouth meeting, and Steph said about not having to go into the city, is that there are awesome things going on all around
Oh, yeah.
outside of Philly. So if you don't want to, or if your DD doesn't want to drive all the way into the city, there's awesome things you can do without going into Philly proper.
There was
So-
even an event that was listed that's up like towards Allentown. I think with Fegley's, they're doing something
Yeah.
out that way.
I'll mention that then in the Know Your Beer segment.
There we go. So
It's a little teaser.
Yeah, stay
Foreshadowing.
tuned, or just scrub ahead. But then you missed a lot of good stuff. So don't scrub ahead. Listen to the whole thing. It's worth it, and it's worth it because that segue. We're here with John, Mr. Stemler. Sorry, Mr. Stemler.
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 John Stemler.
Shaken, not stirred. But yeah, thank you so much for having us out here to Free Will. It's a cool event you guys have going on tonight. Now, the event that you have here it's raising funds for, and I'm going to say it wrong, so I'm actually just going to not say it. How do you say it?
Hoften Dormal.
Hoftender Mall. Okay.
It's not that complicated.
Hi, have we met? So Hoftender Mall. So for anybody who's not familiar, what is Hoftender Mall? I'm
It's
gonna
a
say it a bunch.
true farmhouse brewery in Tildonk, Belgium, just outside Leuven. And they had a big fire in January, which destroyed most of the barn that houses the brewery and lost a lot of grain, beer, equipment, and so many other things, and are trying to get enough funds to rebuild it.
Yeah. It's a shame that happened. Steph was telling us about it when we first confirmed that you were going to be on, because you were there.
Yep.
And you won a raffle, is it, to go over
Yep.
there and brew?
I got my name pulled out of a hat. Yeah.
Where was that?
The actual event was down in the city. It's a midwinter Philly Beer Week event where we try and promote ourselves and get more paid submissions, where people
Okay.
actually pay a little bit of money and put their name in a hat, and then they put on that same sheet with their name the brewer they would like to brew with. And Brian Colsar actually was the person that put my name in there as well.
From the Brew Lounge.
Yes.
Awesome guy.
He's got a really good book coming out too.
And
Plug.
do you know the name of that book?
No, because I don't remember stuff.
It's written down
You
somewhere.
didn't write it
It's written
down.
down somewhere.
So, but neither you nor Brian were there at the raffle.
No, he had a water heater flood and it was putting up drywall, and I was doing a random sales call very high up in Lehigh Valley. Yes. But Seth was there, my sales and marketing director, and he's way better on camera. So
Well, that's good.
yeah,
So when did you actually find out?
I
that you
found
won?
out while I was driving home. Actually, I
Nice.
thought they were messing with me.
So Brian went over to Belgium with you.
Yep. And I brought my wife as well. We all stayed in the same hotel. It was great.
That's awesome. How long were you there?
We went there for 8 days.
That's a nice trip.
Yep, I came in early. That way I could get a good experience. My wife's families from Belgium. So it was like going back to the motherland.
Awesome.
How cool. Now, we'll talk about the brew day for a moment, but first, tell us about some of your adventures when you were in Belgium, some of the awesome breweries you got to see.
Cantillon,
Of course.
Fontanen, Boone. I mean, the 3 primary goose and lambic producers in the world, all in one fell swoop. That's, yeah.
And you toured Cantillon with Tom Peters, right?
Yes. Tom Peters actually gave us the tour because John was busy.
Wow.
Wow.
That's not a bad substitute.
No, not at all. No.
That's amazing. So,
Sir Tom Peters.
yes, Sir Tom Peters, of course.
From Stemler, John Stemler.
Sir Peters. Tom Peters.
No, really, he's actually knighted in Belgium.
Oh, that's
It's
so
crazy.
cool.
It's amazing. We are very lucky to have him here in Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. He's
For
one
all
of the
us beer
reasons
lovers.
that Philadelphia is one of the best beer cities in the world.
Yep.
But we could talk about Tom Peters for a whole episode. So let's talk about the actual brew day, because this is a very unique. I think you guys started really early.
Yeah.
There were a lot of complications because of the fire.
Well,
It
we
was a
started the
long
night
day.
before, actually. I came in after Cantillon. Everybody else went out and had a good night and partied a little longer. I got on a train into the Belgian countryside by myself, and we milled grain. The grain was being stored in storage containers out by the road because the barn was burned out, so they had to have temporary trailers there. And then we weighed the grain in the barn attached to the house, and then we milled the grain in the back barn, which is only partially enclosed where they kept the animals.
Yeah.
So we milled there, and that took till after 10 o'clock at night. It was cold. It was, of course, wintertime, and it was kind of gross. But, it's a farm. It is a true farmhouse brewery.
Yeah.
And then we got up very early, about 5:30, started at 6, and the boiler kicked off a bunch of times because most of the wiring was burned out.
Wow.
Everything just kept shutting off. It took about 16 hours.
Wow.
It's a long, long time. Long time to cool, long time to do everything.
Wow. So how much of the, I know it said like 70% of the brewery was...
Thankfully, the really expensive
I was going to
stuff.
say, like, how much of the actual, like, brew house and the brewing equipment were...
The brewing equipment was fine. The actual brew house was fine. The
Okay.
boiler was fine, except for some control wires and some circuit breakers were burned out. The fermenters themselves were fine.
Yeah.
Glycol chiller was lost. Bottling line was lost. Pasteurizer was lost. A lot of the beer stores were lost. Almost all of their grain was lost, which
Wow.
was not much of a problem for us. But they actually grow all their grain there.
Oh, really?
And they had it shipped up to above Antwerp to Dingemans and have it malted and shipped back.
And
So we actually used their grain. So they lost not just grain stores, but grain they had grown.
Right,
And,
themselves.
yeah.
Wow.
It's something.
Wow.
It's a true farmhouse brewery. They have their
Yeah.
own yeast strain. They do grow their own hops, but they do also purchase hops.
So it's kind of the silver lining, if you want to call it that, the heart of the brewery, at least, was largely still intact. So
That is correct.
Looking for the positive, that's a good thing.
It still works.
Yeah, it still works.
The
Still makes beer.
positive is the beer that came out of this as well. Talk about the beer that you made.
It's a dark Belgian farmhouse ale. I haven't actually put it in my mouth yet. It's on a boat. It should be here this week.
Nice.
Jeff, the brewer, he actually said it's really tasty. His descriptors weren't that great, though.
It's good.
Chocolatey Belgian farmhouse porter is what I got. It's like 7.2%.
Fair enough.
And I love the name.
So, Leuven on a Prayer, that was all the Philly Beer Week boys. We listened to a lot of Metallica and a lot of metal while we were there. Yep.
Very cool. And are you going to brew the same beer here as
We're going to
well?
brew the same beer here with ingredients I have access to. It's not going to be their grain, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to brew the same beer here, and then we're going to put it into sour barrels with Philly local blueberries.
Oh.
And then we're going to brew something else just because.
Just as you can. Yeah.
He's in town. Might as well make some more beer.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Well,
that's
speaking of sours, I know that you're a big fan of sours.
Yes.
Yeah.
So talk about some of the sour beers you do, some of the plans you have for sour beers.
Well, we have a style of beers. We call them lambics because they are lambics by style, but they're not traditionally brewed. We don't use a cool ship. We have a culture that's been being used for up to 8 years by now, and it is distinctly its own little slurry of organisms. Stylistically, it does fit into the lambic category, but we are going to back away from that name. We're going to call them something else, just because now that I know these guys from Belgium,
You kind of feel like
I have a little more understanding of what's really going on, and
Mm-hmm.
multiple generations of family. Yeah, I'm going to back away from that
Yeah.
out of
Yeah.
respect for them.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really matter what the name of the beer is; it's what's in the bottle.
Absolutely.
So-
Absolutely.
So we do a whole lambic program. The cool ship will be built within the next month or so, but around here the weather's not really good for a cool ship usage, except for a few weeks a year. So we
Right.
won't use it till fall.
Now,
Wow.
if you don't have a cool ship yet, how did you brew Snow Day?
Snow Day, we actually had it in a transportable container, and I cooled it to about 120 and then just drove it out back.
Nice.
And left it there for a while.
That's awesome.
Nice. Now, what are some of the lambics that you do have here?
Key lime, peach, creek, which is sour cherry, and we have imported Italian grapes, Barbera d'Alba grapes that we do, and then we have pomegranate and raspberry in process, which will be out sometime in the fall, winter, whenever they decide they're ready.
Nice.
So.
And the key lime I had recently, and I found it interesting that you mentioned that it's actually only 20% of the key lime blended.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yep.
Wow.
And it's still pretty intense. That's a very polarizing beer for a lot of people. People see key lime, they go, I want to try that. Even if they know they don't like key limes. So if you don't like key limes, you're not going to like it.
It might be good
It's on
mixed
the
with
label.
coconut.
Oh, yeah.
Just saying.
The pina colada
It
fruit.
could be. Yeah, the pina
Yeah,
colada
the pina
fruit.
colada fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Rare, strange
Rum.
fruit. Yeah.
when you guys first opened, the tap room was in the basement here. And
Yes.
now you have this beautiful new tap room and brewery upstairs. Do you have any future plans for the basement to turn that into something new?
17,000 square feet of darkness, all devoted to sours, including the brew house. We have a bunch of oak casks, which should be showing up next week, that are going to be filled. We have a bunch already down there now, and we're going to keep adding more oak. Most of our square footage is actually underground with no windows, no light. It's great for aging beers.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Dan, you're going to have to come back since you are now a newly formed, full,
Newly minted
sour
fan.
Yeah.
Nice. Newly minted.
We had to drag Dan, not really kicking and screaming, but it was,
but definitely through the mud.
yeah, definitely through the mud to get him to really get into sour beers. But
Yeah.
he's finally
It's an
got there.
expensive problem, actually. It's an expensive habit.
Yes, it's better if you don't like them. Save yourself a lot of money.
We budget 3 years to aging these beers to make sure they're ready. If they come out sooner, that's good. If they don't, you're as long as you're in budget-ish.
Now, recently we released a video of Deer Creek Malt House, and I understand that you have brewed some beers using their malts as well.
Yeah, it's very, very tasty. They have very there's a lot of terroir and a lot of flavor that really comes out of their malt because it is grown here and with non-commercial equipment, which definitely lends a lot of flavor. As any brewer knows, like floor malted, the more you actually put your hands on it and actually work with it with real old school equipment, the more flavor it imparts. It may not convert the way you want it to, but it's going to taste really tasty. So we did a milk stout with that, both on nitro and regular gas. That was awesome. And we actually are going to be kegging up a third of the batch of Saison we did with it on Monday. Another third went into a red wine puncheon, and then another third of it went into the barrels that the 2014 aged white sour beer with red cranberries it was in, including the guts from the red cranberries. So we'll have 3 beers out of 1 with that one.
So Philly Beer Week is starting today. Your beer is going to be everywhere in the next 10 days. But where can people meet you?
Yeah, that's a good question.
It's written down somewhere.
Yeah.
You've got to have a few Meet the Brewer events coming up.
We're going to be at Jose Pistola's tomorrow on Saturday,
Nice.
which will be awesome. There'll be Hofden beer there, and Jeff will be there from Hofden Dormal.
Oh, that's fantastic.
They're doing a tap takeover there, so some of his beer will be there, some of mine will be there, and we'll be there pretty much all day, I think.
And the collaboration beer will be there,
Yes,
of course?
Yep. As much as we can, we're going to try and have that everywhere we are.
Is it being bottled at all, or will it only be on tap?
They do have it in bottles. They did it
Okay.
in smaller bottles because their bottling line was destroyed, so they did borrow one, and it's a smaller bottler, so it actually gets the beer a little farther because
Yeah,
it's in smaller
absolutely.
vessels. So, yeah.
Very cool. We have to get our hands on one of those.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would love to try
Or 2,
that.
or
Yes.
3, or
Yes.
4, or 5.
So I want to
12.
dial the clock back a little bit. So we know you were lucky enough to get all that experience brewing over there, but how did you get into brewing in the first place?
Well, I went to school at Ursinus for biology and chemistry, and unbeknownst to me, that brewing was really exactly what I should have been doing. I ended up making wine for my wife because she drinks a lot of wine, and it was cheaper to make it. And then I got a beer kit given to me by her mother-in-law, and I fell in love. The science of it was just right up my alley. It's both art and science all intertwined, and especially with sour beer, there is no end to what you can learn from it. I mean, there's just so much information, so much chemistry and biology going on that I just turned my brain on, really.
Yeah. Did you know early on that you wanted to do sours? Like, have you always liked sours?
No, actually, I started liking sours when I did start getting into craft beer and making my own beer at home, but it's an expensive habit. So as soon as I possibly could, we started making them because they're cheaper if you make them,
Yeah.
so you can drink them whenever you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I got into it, and it takes time to get that program going because, like I said, your budget for 3 years, so the sooner you start making it, the better off you are.
Yeah.
But it is a risk because some barrels can go south, And if you don't like what you have, there's nothing you can do to correct it. It has to get on the drain.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
It's got to be depressing.
Yeah, I spill more beer now than I drank my whole life. I got over that a while ago.
Yeah, I guess you get used to it eventually.
Yeah, beer goes down the drain from one reason or another.
Yep.
It happens.
I feel like I would cry if I saw that.
Yeah, the first year was like, no, all right.
Yeah, but I think it is really important to be able to say, no, this did not work out.
Yeah,
You know,
that's true.
Because you're not going to, I mean, you serve crap beer, you're just hurting yourself.
Bills or not,
Yeah.
if the beer isn't where it should be, it needs to go down the drain.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather put the company in the toilet than sell something I don't feel strongly about.
Right.
I want that to be a sound clip. Because
That's a
I
good
think
sound
I think every new brewer needs to hear that.
I
As
agree.
painful as it is to dump it out, it's going to cost you more money if you serve it than if you dump it out.
Yep.
That's true.
Yep.
The more you know.
The more you know.
Where's that sound clip for the music to go with
Yeah,
that?
I think it's copyrighted, so.
Yeah,
Probably.
We just
well,
have to acapella it.
Because that's how you get around the law.
That's how it works, right?
I guess. I don't know.
Like a cover band. I don't know. So how long have you been at Free Well?
We got licensed in January of 2012. I've only been brewing since 2008. But I don't do hobbies really well. I actually am all in all the time. So 100% of my attention was on my hobby. So I just, everything, constantly. And then I started brewing with Dominic, and he brewed with me, but I pretty much told him how to do stuff and do this, do that, and I wrote everything down. And together, he is a very accomplished palate, so together we actually come with a lot of really cool ideas for beer and what we want it to taste like, and it's my job to translate into a recipe that's on paper that we can actually turn into beer.
What's that process like? Like trying to figure out that recipe. Like if you guys together come up with the craziest idea, how do you know where to start?
That's a good question. Well, working at the homebrew store helps. I get to flex those beer muscles all the time.
Okay.
So guy walks in, says, I want it to taste like this, 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 and this. And I know exactly what ratios of grains and hops and what yeast to use and what temperature to mash it at, things like that, to actually translate it into a written recipe. How that happens in my head, I can't really verbalize, unfortunately. But
Do you use any of the software for it, like to help scale up the recipes or anything?
I used Beersmith for a little while to help give me a target for scaling, but really every equipment's different.
Yeah,
Unless
yeah.
you're buying a really expensive piece of equipment that they've got a lot of note numbers from other breweries, but we built most of our stuff, and we're still building stuff. And you need to just make an educated guess.
Yeah.
And then be prepared to put that batch down the drain. Or several times, so you learn things. You use a recipe that's the most transparent to you, and then you brew it on the new system, or as you scale it up and see how it relates to your own perception of the old batches, and then you make tweaks to the recipe to move forward. What I have learned is everything gets better as you make it bigger, and that's encouraging. So if it changes a little bit, as long as it's changing in a positive direction, I am totally okay with that.
Yeah.
Change is good. Having it exactly the same, I don't like. I like all positive changes.
What's the craziest off the wall recipe you guys have come up with?
Well, it used to be the Collabo what, but I think the safe word's probably
Oh, God, the safe word.
the new one.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I wish it was on top.
Nah,
So
sorry.
Of course you do.
People drink it all.
I know.
Get Sarah
Well,
sweet heat though.
you need to make
Oh,
it
that's right,
really
yeah.
hot again, and then the people won't drink as much of it.
Oh,
So that
it's
way you can all
still
go to
really
use
hot.
Steph will have it.
I can't handle more than like 4 ounces of it. It's like way too hot for me.
Dude, if it's not molten lava, it's not hot
Yeah.
enough for
True.
Steph. I don't understand. Something's wrong with her.
Yeah, more peppers.
More peppers.
Was that duh to more peppers or duh that something's wrong with you?
Duh, that something's wrong
Okay.
with me.
Both.
Just checking. Just checking.
Duh, to more
Does your brother like all the spicy beers?
Yes.
So okay.
Brian and I very much.
But your mom doesn't like beer. So
no,
something
well,
happened
she
in
likes. She is getting into the lambics and the framboise. And
Well,
she
she's really
likes-
into wine, so
Yeah,
that's
there you
kind
go.
of
It's a
makes
good
sense as a
transition.
transition.
Yeah.
Let me know if she ever has like a ghost chili, anything that she likes.
She's had all of them. Every beer that I've ever brewed, she's had. And 90% of the beers I brew have a lot of peppers in them.
She's probably just telling you she liked them because you're her daughter.
No, she tells me it's hot and it tastes like beer. I mean, she's honest, but she's like, my daughter brewed this, I'm going to drink it. And she does.
Powers through somehow.
I just have a bottle of wine waiting for
There
her,
you
and
go.
it's all good.
Here, wash it down with this.
Speaking of washing down, my glass is empty.
Yes.
Oh,
That's a problem.
that is a problem. I guess that means we have to.
Beer me! Beer me! Beer me! Beer me!
All right. So I'm very excited because there are 3 trays of beer on the table, and I've been told the first one that we're trying is the Kolsch.
Yes.
All right. I love the smell of this Kolsch.
Kolschi.
Kolschi.
Is that your description,
Kolschi.
John?
Sure.
Kolschi.
It is very Kolschi.
It does have a very distinctive smell that comes off from the yeast, yeah.
Yeah.
I love the yeasty, like the breadiness. Yeah, oh, it's so good.
I love a good German beer.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Liquid
funny.
bread.
Liquid
You
bread,
make
yes.
great German style beers and then these insanely delicious and crazy sours. You
I
just,
am
and then the hoppy beers too. You do everything.
Yeah, I'm an equal opportunity beer brewer as well as beer drinker. So I like all styles of beer. I like making beer in general. I don't
Yeah.
care what it is.
Yeah.
I don't have a particular set of styles that I prefer to brew. Well, I don't like to brew the white just because it's ridiculous with the grain bill.
Yeah.
The Destiny's Wit, the wit beer, that's
Yeah.
got a lot of grain.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of different kinds of grain. It's a pain to weigh out in the mill.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Other than that, it's normal. The prep work stinks, though.
So is the Kolsch something that's been around since the beginning?
No, we started this 2 years ago, I think. I can't exactly remember when we started. We just wanted to make a lighter beer that was lower in alcohol. As our tastes matured, we wanted something that was not as impactful and something you can drink more of, and it was less alcohol and still satisfying. And it actually has become like a qualifying card for me. Because making a Kolsch is actually quite difficult. Finding the right balance of delicacy and getting the malt and the aroma and the yeast and getting it all to work just in harmony and keeping it low alcohol and still being satisfying is actually quite difficult.
Speaking of low alcohol, what is the ABV?
4.8.
4.8.
Oh, wow.
Almost sessionable.
So right outside
Almost.
official sessionable.
Yeah, whatever that means.
yeah.
I think I saw an ad for a double session IPA. It was like 7.9%.
Wait, what? That
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense.
Google that.
Is that a real thing?
Google that.
Google
Double
that.
session IPA.
Double session IPA.
That's just, I don't get it. Dan, did you make that?
No, it would have been like 26.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah,
We
because
need to get
your
Lou
session
Bryson on
limit
the
is 13.
Yeah. You'll never let him live that down.
Yeah,
No,
no, not at all.
I shouldn't live that down.
It's a running joke.
I don't want to drink this fast. I want. This
I don't
is
either.
just-
This is
Yeah.
a very good.
The first batch we made of this, we actually bought 2-liter German steins or German mugs to drink it out of. Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
This is definitely a mug beer. This
Yep.
is definitely a Stein. This and a turkey leg or whatever the vegan equivalent would be. I don't know.
When you
Tofu
need-
dogs.
A tofu
Tofu.
dog.
Oh,
There you
I was
go.
thinking like
Tofurkey.
sausage. not-
Sausage, yeah. Just
Yeah.
something hearty and like
Wiener
"Arr."
schnitzel.
Yeah,
You
Wiener
do Wiener
Schnitzel.
Tofu schnitzel.
You have too many sound bites. You can never find the perfect one for the moment.
know. I'll get used to it eventually.
We can just
Actually, Tofurkey makes some pretty decent vegan
I've heard,
sausages.
yeah.
They're actually pretty good.
yeah.
Tofurkey.
There it
you
is.
go.
Found it.
Delay much. Well, I want to save some of this for
Yeah, definitely.
Happy Fun Time game, so I'm going to start
We're gonna
passing
move on to the
around.
next
Yes. Yeah. What is the next one?
John, that's your cue.
I don't remember.
This is the
There you
mango.
go.
Told you, I don't remember.
The mango.
I wrote it down for you, so
Good.
it's okay. This is the mango.
That's the best part.
Tell us about the mango.
Smells
The mango
delicious.
wheat was, well, my partner actually asked me to make a beer that was crowd friendly and satisfying to beer geeks, even if they don't want to drink a lot of it, but they can respect it for its construction, and it is not hop contract dependent.
Very important. Very important.
Ooh.
Thus was born the mango wheat.
It smells amazing. I haven't actually tasted it yet.
But
the mango, the
totally
fruit
mango
aroma. Oh, it's so
Completely.
delicious.
Oh,
But
wow.
it finishes dry.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not stupid sweet.
Yes.
It's not
Thank
fake.
you.
Yeah.
It cleans up after
I
itself.
hate that sweetness
Ooh, yeah.
that stays around, but this is, it's
Oh,
there
yeah.
and then it's dry.
What
And
I
you go
like-
back and
and
it's
you want
there,
more.
and it's
Yeah, and then you want more,
Yeah.
and then you want more. What I like about it is that the aroma is like a sweet fruit,
Yep.
but then the taste, it does. It's really dry and it's delicious.
Ooh.
And
Yeah,
it's,
I'm
it's
not
a
a
wheat
fruit
beer
beer, but I'll
by
drink this.
Malt Bill, but it's actually fermented with an ESB yeast strain.
Oh,
so it
okay.
flocculates. It's got some nice fruit notes to it that come, and it ferments quick.
Nice.
Clears up nice. As you can see, it's not cloudy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also very attractive.
Yes, it is.
So how is the mango put in here?
We actually use steam distilled essential oil of mangoes. Actual mango makes a mess.
I can imagine. I
I
can
can-
imagine.
yeah, I can
At
believe
what
it.
point do you add the?
We add it in its finished beer. It's already crashed and
Okay.
clearish. And we move it in on its way to the bright tank. So we blend it there in the bright
Okay.
tank prior to packaging.
And this is a year-round beer then?
We'll see.
What's the ABV on this one?
This one's like 5-ish. 4.8 to 5. Usually it fluctuates.
Actually, I would. It tastes a little higher than that. I think maybe it's that dryness in there.
It is dry.
Yeah.
It finishes quite dry.
It
We do
does,
mash
yeah.
it high to keep the sweetness, but it still ends up actually dry.
Yeah. So
This-
I would have pegged it higher in the ABV.
This would be great in a can. So when you're ready, in a can.
We're talking
ready.
about that. We talked about the Pilsner first, but yeah, this would
Oh,
be
yeah, the
probably
Pils would be
second.
great in
yeah,
a
the
can.
Pilsner would be a good one to lead off
Yep.
with, but this would be.
It reminds me I'm not a big fruit beer person, but 21st Amendments, their watermelon.
Hello, my
wheats.
watermelon.
Yeah.
I love that beer, and in a can, it's don't. Oh, you
So
missed
what
it.
you're saying is,
So this would be very good in a can, also. In a can. Wait a fucking minute.
Aye.
I'm having too much fun over here.
Yeah, I think you are.
So your beers several of them are available and packaged in bottles to go.
Yes.
What are some of the beers that you sell in 12-ounce bottles?
the Craggle, the IPA, this, the
Coming up
Mango
next.
Wheat, the Community Kolsch, which we had already, Destiny's Wit, and we do Techno IPA, although it's on a 3-week hiatus while we rebrand the packaging look.
Very cool. And then you also have the larger bottles, the Lambics.
Yep.
The Snow Day was in one of the larger bottles.
Yes, we do have some rotating seasonals also. The COB is a really big one for us in the fall.
We've had that on the
God.
show.
Oh, the COB is wonderful.
We had it with Greg. Greg Orth.
Collective beergasm in the room.
What was the chocolate he paired with it? I forget.
It was actually, well, there was a couple, because there was one that was all right,
You should write this down, John.
and then he randomly
I don't have a pencil.
he randomly broke out. It was a bitter dark chocolate with some kind of nuts.
Macadamia?
Was it
Macadamia
macadamia?
nuts?
Ooh.
Yeah, or pecans.
One of those.
It was one of them.
I
but
feel
it
out of
was-
the two, I feel like it was macadamia.
But he said how he doesn't usually pair same with same.
Yeah, it was. And actually, it was kind of a spontaneous
But it
decision.
worked.
It was
It
like
was
a
so
flavor
good.
explosion. It was so
Mouthgasm.
amazingly good.
Because I think we were all gushing about how much we love COB and how great the beer is, and he did the pairing, and it didn't. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it just. I think he kind of felt like it wasn't. It wasn't the
oh my God,
mouthgasm, so he
yeah.
kind of randomly was like, "Well, I have these coffee chocolates," so we paired that, and it was incredible, really good.
Well, that's got to use a lighter roast coffee, like it's a lighter medium roast coffee. So you could use a darker chocolate with a
Yeah.
darker coffee, and it would still not be exactly the same thing.
yeah.
That's
It's
And
true.
it
a
would just
It's
it
the
would
same, but it's
compound
not.
on the flavoring. Yep.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah, what
so
I
good.
like about the COB is that it's not the really deep dark. It kind of reminds me of, it evokes more of the aroma of coffee grounds.
Exactly.
Yeah,
The,
which
the
is-
idea behind that beer was to pretend like you never had coffee before, and you walked into a coffee shop,
Yes.
or like a coffee roastery or thing like that, and all those sweet, nutty, earthy, sweet senses that you would get from the aromatics,
Yeah.
and then turn that into a beer.
Yeah.
But as you know, if you drink black coffee, you're like, what the heck was I smelling?
Yeah, exactly.
This is
Totally
not at all
different.
the same thing.
Exactly, yeah.
I think
So-
the COB was probably the most coffee-like coffee beer that I've ever had.
Coffee and cream.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I, as far as coffee goes, I don't like black coffee. I need to have cream and sugar. That was like everything I wanted
That was
in a
it,
coffee,
yep.
but it was a beer.
It's not roasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And
And I-
have you guys had the COB BB and the COB
Yes.
RB?
Not the
No.
RB.
The
Not
RB's
BB.
on now, and there's COB, and there's also COB on Nitro out there right now.
What?
Yes.
That's what I'm drinking when we're done.
Oh my god.
Well, that's why I got so much trouble when I was here last time, because you had the
You got
RB and
shitty.
the BB and
Yeah.
and I just was like, I want more, and then
I
all of
have
a
a flight
sudden,
of just this.
Yeah.
wait a minute,
Well, sure.
that doesn't make any sense, but
That's what you wanted.
okay.
First time for everything.
But speaking of the beers that are in front of us,
Oh, yeah.
as opposed to the COB, I really like this mango. It's really good.
I take about
Really good.
75% of the beer home as mango, and then the other 25% is Pilsner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I drink at home.
Now, will your wife drink this?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
By the gallon.
Nice.
She doesn't like the Pilsner. She'd rather drink this.
This
It-
is probably, Steph, something your mom would like.
No, I
'cause
was
it
just
has
thinking that because there's a mango green tea, hot tea that she drinks a lot, and this reminds me a lot of that tea because it has like the really good mango flavor, but it also has like an herbal punch to it, and it reminds me of that tea. I really think she would. I will have to pick up some and take it home for her.
Yeah, I think
Au naturel. It's funny how the fake flavorings are easy to get approved. The natural ones are actually difficult.
Really.
So this took a little longer, but it was worth it.
And that's important to you. You only use natural
Yeah,
ingredients.
use real stuff.
Good.
real stuff. I like
Yep.
that.
Real stuff.
Beer made from real stuff.
Beer with real stuff.
Nothing fake. What do we pick next? I forget. Again.
This is the. Is it
Written down
Craggle
somewhere.
or Craggle?
Craggle.
Craggle. Okay.
You should watch the Lego movie.
Do you watch the Lego movie?
Is that where it comes from?
Yes.
Really?
Seriously? Do
Okay.
tell. Explain.
Well, Craggle is short for Crazy Glue.
Okay.
I picked it because it's 2 syllables. It's unique. It's easy to yell. It's the Craggle. That movie's actually good for about 100 different beer names.
Yeah.
Spaceship.
That movie's good
The
for
special-
every reason.
No, that movie is annoying, especially when all of your students have the songs memorized and sing them.
Well, okay.
It's
Speaking
your
of,
fault. You're a teacher.
I'm not going to sing it because then it will be in my head all night. But that
Everything
won't-
is awesome.
Everything is awesome.
Everything is awesome, including
Including Craggle.
Yes.
Oh, which we had this at the thing with the
Little Big
Apple-
Beer Fest.
Yeah, that one.
Yes.
Thank you. Sorry.
We also had this at the Kegs and Eggs.
yes.
It was there. It won, right?
yeah, we got
Judge's choice.
some sort of trophy.
There was the overall best beer competition.
Yes, this one overall best beer at Kegs and Eggs
I
at the
can
back
see
door.
why.
It's delicious.
6.6%. It's got a little rye in there and lots of Simcoe, Citra, and Calypso. And it's 90 IBUs.
Oh,
And it's dry hopped to death.
Yeah.
I went to bathe in this.
It's got that awesome dankness to it. That it's got the dry finish.
Did you ever watch The Last Man on Earth?
Yes. I
You know
love that
where
show.
he's
Yeah.
in the little kiddie pool,
Baby pool
with
with
the
all the
straw?
margarita.
Yes, I want this in the baby pool with a straw.
Yeah.
I love this beer.
So good.
We've had this beer a few times, and it does not disappoint. It is
No.
spectacular.
It does really well for us, yeah.
It's
So,
delicious.
Is this like an original recipe of yours? How long has this been around?
No, what month is it? 4 months?
Oh, so it's
Yeah.
fairly
I think
new.
we did a
Okay.
tester in January.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
good.
it was pretty new when we had it at Kegs and Eggs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it was cold then. I remember that.
Yeah, I think it's only been bottles
was-
for like a month or
Oh,
maybe
wow.
5 weeks, 6 weeks. Not very long.
And are you very careful about how long those bottles are on the shelf? Because I imagine the sooner people grab them and drink them, the better this beer is going to be.
Yeah, that's a really hard thing to do.
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, especially with multiple levels of distribution. It's hard to police that.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're very active about buying things back and things like that.
Yeah.
And the bigger the beers get, the more hoppy they get. Like you get up to Pliny, it's got like a 2 to 3 week shelf life, things
Yeah.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
Hops are the first thing to go, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Speaking of Pliny, this would be a great time to talk about the raffle that's going on tonight for the event.
Yes.
You brought back some amazing beers
Yep, I
from a
brought
few of your trips
Yep.
that
Yeah.
are on the table out there.
Yeah, there's Westy 12 out there. We got Pliny that's less than 2 weeks bottled. Several of their sours, Consecration, Supplication. We got some Hofstein beer. I have what else do I have? Oh yeah,
Some heretic stuff.
Heretic stuff. And Nate from Mackenzie Brewhouse brought some bottles, including one that's not released. So there's some really rare stuff out there,
Some really odd.
and some shirts.
Some shirts,
Yes,
yeah.
Some
nice.
shirts I
Some
brought
hop-
back, and some
Hophead
shirts
shirts.
that Bart brought. Yep.
Yeah, Pliny shirts.
The shirts are cool, but the beer, like that is like the coolest raffle I think I've ever seen at any
Yes.
event.
Cantillon.
Like,
Yes.
Cantillon.
I just-
Cantillon, yeah.
I've got to say the look
That's true.
on
We didn't even mention Cantillon.
Yeah, Cantillon.
the look on Bart's
My
face
bad.
when you're like, the shirts are cool, but the beer's cooler. Bart just had this defeated look.
Come on, Bart. Even you have to admit that.
With the beer.
I didn't say the beer was cooler. The beer is rarer,
The beer is very rare.
There you go. There you go.
but there's just as much artisanal effort that goes into both.
It's true.
That is true.
Well,
The shirts are like just maybe the icing, the top layer of the icing on the cake.
There you go. All right.
It's just a little something extra. Something to wrap the bottles in so they don't clang against each other in your trunk on the way home, right?
Now I know what I should take next to California with me.
Oh, when I go next year, I am taking
Not this year, but next year.
this year. Oh my gosh. When I go this year, in less than 2 months. Wow. Wow.
Anyway,
When I go to California this year,
Yeah.
I'm taking multiple suitcases. Some of
Good.
them will just be filled with bubble wrap and duct tape.
nesting suitcases.
Yes, exactly.
Bubble wrap, you can buy that at Staples. Buy all the crap out there. Why would you take it out there? Nesting suitcases.
Well, so I have stuff in. I don't want to be suspicious. Like, I don't want to go through and get stopped because I have empty suitcases.
That doesn't sound plausible at all.
I don't know. Shall we play a game?
I think we shall.
Back to work.
Back to work.
If you want to call this work. Wayne, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. I expected you to say something more than yes, but I'll take it.
Oh, I thought we were just doing a cold open.
No. I was like trying to lead into it, but...
Well, now this is an awkward open. We'll go with an awkward open. I
all
like
right,
an awkward open.
yeah, that's about right.
Okay.
Cool.
Welcome to Happy Fun Time Games.
Thank you. I feel welcome.
Yes. The award-winning trivia segment.
Which award?
The podcast trivia trophy of awesomeness reserved only for the coolest masters of the universe that have ever been. And it will be recommended by 3 out of 4 time travelers.
All right.
Today, we are playing a Philadelphia-themed version of Years of Beers, which is a game we have not played in a little while. Not quite years, but it's been a while since we played this game. So since we're kicking off Philly Beer Week, I thought we'd do a Philadelphia-themed Years of Beers. You guys, everything knows how this game works. I'm going to tell you something that has happened in the past that's important related to beer in Philadelphia, and you're going to guess what year it occurred. Whoever gets closest is going to get a point. If you get it spot on, you'll get a bonus point.
So not multiple choice.
Not multiple choice. You might get a smiley face sticker or a gold star as well.
Are we doing Price is Right rules?
No.
Okay, so I can be closest either way.
Either way.
All right.
Whoever's closest, either way. If you're off by more than 100 years, all of you, maybe nobody will get points just for #failing.
No points.
We'll see how it goes, and we'll see how I feel when we get there. We're going to begin, as we always do, by passing it on the left-hand side to Dan. And Dan, tell me, Philadelphia brewer John Wagner is credited as the first American brewer to brew lager in what year?
Oh, crap. We mentioned this before.
Yep, we talked about this before.
Oh, crap.
Oh, boy. What year was it? First American brewer to brew lager.
Were we America then?
John Wagner. Yes, we were.
Okay.
How American were we?
Come on, I helped you out a little bit.
We were somewhere between the Continental Congress and America.
Oh, God. 1854. I don't know.
1854 says Dan. Okay, John, what year do you think that was?
Yes.
Yes?
I have no idea.
You have no idea? Pick a year.
Pick a number between 1776 and 2014.
1815.
1815. Okay, that is a number
What do you
between
say?
those
Too
two.
early.
54. I said 54. He said 15.
Yes. Both in the 1800s, you could buck the trend.
Are these
Go to the
Prices Right
1700s.
rules?
No. Closest either way. Or you could come into the 20th century. Though, to be fair, that's probably unlikely.
I'm gonna go right in the middle because
Okay.
I don't want to be one of those lame people that's gonna go like $1 or one.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 1832.
You're going to say 1832, which is a very good strategy because that puts you the closest because the year was 1840.
There you go.
In 1840, Bavarian brewmaster John Wagner risked punishment by removing the coveted lager yeast from Bavaria and brought it to America, where he intended to start a new life and a new way of brewing in this country. He brewed the nation's first lager beer on St. John Street near Poplar, in a home brewery, a small structure behind the house with a cellar for aging the beer. He produced batches of 88 31-gallon barrels on a scale similar to that of most brew pubs today. 1840, John Wagner brews the first lager in America. John's going to go up next on this question, and this is McGillen's Old Ale House, formerly the Bell in Hand, is Philadelphia's oldest continuously operating tavern. In what year did it open?
No idea.
No idea. Take a guess. Four digits.
1796.
1796 says John. Steph, what year do you think that was?
I'm thinking it's like before the Revolution because
Okay.
they would always meet it. You said the longest continually.
Continuously operating
Oh,
tavern in Philadelphia. Open.
Then maybe it's later. I
In
don't
what
know.
year?
Is one of the ones from back then still open? Is this the one that's
Apparently.
You're not allowed to ask me questions.
1750?
1750 says Steph, and finally Dan, what's your answer?
John, what did you say?
I'm not telling.
Wait, what did
He
John
just
say?
doesn't remember.
He doesn't remember. He said, I have no idea. He said 1796. That's where he landed
96 and then 50 and then
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 1749.
1749. It's going to be tough to tell who is the closest because you are all off by a fair amount. Actually, it's John because the year was 18 1860.
Wow.
1860.
I thought it
I
was
should have
earlier
asked
than
if we
that.
were
Yeah.
America then.
It was originally called the Bell in
America.
Hand. The tavern opened 155 years ago inside a small row house. The laborers who frequented the place just called it McGillen's after William McGillen, the Irish immigrant who owned the bar and raised his 13 children upstairs.
Wow.
Yeah. The nickname stuck, and the tavern grew to encompass the Oyster House next door, the back alley and washroom, and the McGillen's house.
And it's still small.
It's
Upstairs,
still small,
Yeah.
but big for Philadelphia.
upstairs is now a karaoke bar.
There you go.
That's where they do their
Upstairs
karaoke.
for the 13 children karaoke bar.
If you listen closely, you can hear the ghost of them singing "I Will Survive."
If you listen closely, you can hear the ghostly moans of foes bleeding through the speakers. Steph is going to go next on this question, and this is Brewery Town. Is a
Yes.
neighborhood in North Philadelphia that got its name because of the numerous breweries located there around the turn of the 20th century. However, every brewery in the area had vanished by what year?
Oh, crap. 1935.
Hot.
1935.
35 says Steph. Dan, what's your answer?
1874.
Dan is saying
Wait,
1874.
Wrong
did
way.
you listen to the question?
Nope. He did not listen to the question at all. Throwing it over to John.
1950.
John is saying 1950, putting him the closest,
Yeah.
but still a considerable way off because it was in fact 1987.
Oh.
I meant,
wow.
I meant to say 1987.
Is that what you meant to say?
Yeah.
But you didn't, so
I
you
know.
lose. Hashtag fail. At its peak, 700 breweries 700 breweries operated across Philadelphia, several in a 10-block area of Brewery Town. Unfortunately, with the collapse of the local industry later in the 20th century, originally started by the implementation of Prohibition in the United States and beer production moving to the Midwest, every single brewer had vanished by 1987. In 1991, Brewery Town Historic District was certified by the National Register of Historic Places. And if there's still no breweries there to this day, as far as I know. Yeah. So Brewery
Not
Town
yet.
contains no breweries, but there is a sort of revitalization effort going on in the area.
Very much, yes.
Which I read about.
the
So,
whole city needs that.
well, yeah, but I think a brewery would be a good way to do that. Speaking of,
Just like Braddock.
just like Braddock, Pennsylvania, we recently went and finally got to see Blood, Sweat, and Beer.
Amazing.
Yeah, the documentary by
I wish I could have made that.
Chip
It's
and
a
Alexis.
great film.
Yeah,
and
we were asked to have a screening here.
Oh,
You
yeah?
should totally do it.
Yeah, we went
I,
Chip
to
and
I said
Alexis
yes.
are
We'll see how it
amazing.
goes.
Yeah, it's awesome.
The film is
It's really well made. Yeah.
it's emotional. It's yeah. You just cheer for those guys, and I want to meet the mayor of Braddock so badly.
yeah.
He's just he has the zip code of Braddock on one arm, and the date that the 5 people that were murdered while he was mayor, the date they died on his other
Whoa.
arm tattoo.
Wow, that's hardcore.
He is
Yeah.
he is hardcore, and he is about doing whatever he can to bring that town back.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a really good film.
for
So you
him.
should totally check it out. You should like them. You should follow them because they're trying to get distribution. They'd like to
Yes.
get it on like Netflix or something.
That would
It
be
should
cool.
totally
and that would
be
be
on
incredible
Netflix.
because everybody should
One
watch
of the
it.
best films I've seen in a long time.
Yeah,
for
it was
them.
really, really well
I had a
made.
feeling it would turn out really well.
Yeah, it really did. But moving along
Moving
to
along.
a quick fire round.
Oh,
quick fire round.
quick fire.
Quick fire.
round.
Listen. I gotta listen.
So, tell me, in what year were these Philadelphia breweries founded?
Oh,
Philadelphia Brewing Company, Dan. 5, 4,
1997.
1997, John. 5, 4,
90.
3, 1990, Steph.
1988.
1988, putting Dan the closest because the year was 2007.
Really?
Yep. Surprising, I know, but
Wow.
that is the correct answer. Yards. What year was Yards founded, John?
1990.
1990 for all of us.
1996.
1996, and Dan?
1994.
1994. You are exactly correct, and so you get an
I
extra
knew he would
point.
know.
He would know.
I
He
was
would know.
looking
Moving
at
on
my growler today.
to Dock Streets. Steph.
Oh.
Dock Street. What year was Dock Street founded?
92.
1992 says Steph. Dan.
Crap, I was going to say 05.
You were going to say 05. Is that what you're going to say? You've
Yeah,
got 3 seconds
05.
left. Okay, saying 2005, I assume, not 19. John.
98.
1998.
See, that changed.
Makes Steph the closest because
Yes.
the year was 1985. Swing back over to Dan. Manny Young Brewing.
03?
03. Manny Young Brewing. John.
98.
98.
2000.
2000. John is the closest because it was 1996. And rounding it out, final one. Whoever wants to shout out the answer, Notting Head. Nodding head.
95.
07.
95 says Steph. 07 says Dan. John, what's your guess?
98.
98. You are, in fact, the closest because it's either 1999 or 2000. They're not sure.
That sounds about right.
So we're going to add up the points real quick here and see who our big winner is. And if my calculations are correct, it is our guest of honor, John.
Totally guessing.
So not sure of his answers, but got 4 of them correct. Steph and Dan came in tying for second with no, I'm sorry, Dan is in second because he got a
And
bonus
I
point.
lost.
Oh,
again.
yeah.
I told
So
you I was going to lose.
Dan's got 3 points. Steph has 2.
Well, on that note,
Know your beers.
Steph, what do you have?
Well, earlier, Dan, you talked about this year's Philly Beer Week and some of the awesome events that are going on.
I did.
So for this episode's Know Your Beer, I'm going to talk about the history of Philly Beer Week.
Hey!
Philly Beer Week is a
Yards was founded in 1994.
10-day celebration of the best beer drinking city in the world. Established in 2008, it is the largest beer celebration of its kind in America, featuring hundreds of festivals, dinners, tours, pub crawls, tastings, and meet the brewer nights at area bars, restaurants, and other locations throughout Greater Philadelphia. Since the founding of Philly Beer Week, nearly 100 other cities worldwide have copied, perhaps? No.
Yes.
Launched their own
Paid
beer
homage.
weeks.
Yes.
Philly Beer Week highlights the region's diverse beer scene, its world-class breweries, neighborhood taverns, trend-setting restaurants, and rich beer culture and history. Philly Beer Week is organized and operated by Philly Beer Week, Inc., a nonprofit organization overseen by a board comprised of brewery owners, distributors, restaurant owners, and others to promote Philadelphia's beer and hospitality industries. As Dan mentioned, to get a full list of the events, go to phillybeerweek.org or download the Philly Beer Week app. So as we mentioned earlier, a special note to our friends in Bethlehem, and I know we have a lot of them. If you are planning to attend Philly Beer Week, you can leave the driving to Fagley's Brewworks.
Yes.
The brewery is going to offer a bus into Philadelphia leaving at 9:45 a.m. on May 30th from Bethlehem Brewworks. The first stop will be Johnny Brenda's, where they're having the Firkin Riot, where cask beer, fish and chips, and meat pies will be available. And this, of course, is within walking distance of Yards, Barcade, and Sugar House
It's a
Casino.
great area.
So the group will spend the afternoon in Old City with time to explore local breweries and restaurants as well, and return home by 7:30 p.m. The cost is $55. You can go to Fagley's website to learn more. Also, I think we mentioned on the show earlier a few episodes ago, but don't forget about Philly Taco. The unique collaboration between Perennial Artisan Ales and Cigar City Brewing. Philly Taco is a 7% ABV Belgian-style brown ale brewed with Brettanomyces that pays homage to the Jim Steaks Meats Lorenzo's Pizza Philly Taco.
I thought you meant go to South Street, do the South Street taco, which you should do
well,
anyway.
you kind of have to do it with the beer, right? I kind of feel like it's a pairing
Well,
that's meant to
yeah,
happen.
it's just un-American if you don't.
Okay. So anyway, we hope to see you during Philly Beer Week. Send us messages, post us pictures. We can't wait to see where you're
Yes.
going, what you're drinking, and who you're meeting.
And definitely let us know how the events that you go to are, because being 3 of us, we certainly can't make
We
it
can't get to all of them.
No, even if we were 100 of us, we couldn't make it to all of them. But
And Rich will only drive to Philadelphia a certain number of times.
yeah, I happen to live there, but I
Speaking
still have
of,
jobs.
Happy birthday
Happy birthday.
to Rich.
Happy birthday to you. He's not even in the room.
Bump. His birthday is May 29th,
Yay.
which is the reason I will not be at Opening Tap, because I promised him for his birthday we would not attend a single beer event.
Wow, that's love.
You're
Yes.
a good wife. Yeah, you're a
I
very
love
good
you,
wife.
Rich.
Well, on that note, all of my glasses are empty. Shall we get
Me
refills?
too. These two drink slowly. Slowly.
Beer me! Beer me! Beer me! Beer me!
Round 2, fight.
All right. So, there's a beer in front of me, and I lost my place in the sheet. What beer are we about to drink?
This is the Peach Lambic. I
Ooh.
remembered this one.
All right. Ooh, that smells lambic-y.
Oh,
And peachy. It smells peachy and lambic-y.
Uh-huh.
this is delicious.
Now, is this one of the lambics
Ooh,
that's bottled?
Holy cow.
Yes.
You bottle all of the lambics?
Well, this year we're not bottling the key lime because we have a ton of it that's ready for draft, and there's still little bottles floating around, so we're going to leave it out of the market.
This is really, 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 really good.
Thank you.
It's nice and tart and it's got that jowly thing
Yep,
going
makes
on.
your
I love
jowls
that.
sweat.
Yeah, I
But
love
it
that.
doesn't, like, the tartness and sourness of it, it doesn't hold on.
It hits you and then it
And then it
leaves.
kind of goes away.
And you're
It's
like,
relatively
ooh, I want that
clean.
again.
yeah, it's like the mango was earlier, but, I mean, that wasn't tarty.
Yeah, and it ends with a little bit of sweetness.
And it's not really funky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The funk will be picked up over years of aging. You'll get
Right.
a lot more of the barnyard stuff, but this is still freshly packaged.
Oh, this is good. I'm glad I like sours now.
Yeah. See, it's a whole new world.
I'm not going to sing it. We get sued.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
It's a beautiful song.
Well, yeah, but Disney has very powerful lawyers.
So it's not safe even if we do it a cappella?
Probably not.
Considering we don't have any instruments.
So your theory on law is incorrect?
Only when it comes to Disney.
Oh, okay.
Above the law.
Okay.
Or Star Wars trademark.
Yeah.
Which Disney now owns.
Which Disney now
So,
owns.
Exactly.
Trademark.
Ergo, George Lucas might come after you.
Yes.
He
No.
made so much money
He's
off
With a
sleeping on a pile of
lightsaber
money.
trademark.
with a lightsaber trademark. Patent pending.
Is that like Super Bowl trademark?
Yes.
The big game.
The big
The
game.
big game.
It's exactly like that.
It's a bowl of super Cheerios.
Exactly.
This is an extremely drinkable
I was
sour.
going to say, you guys can keep bantering because I can just
That
keep drinking
is
this. Yeah,
exactly what lambics are supposed to be. In Belgium, they drink them in like big, tall glass.
Wow.
Right.
That isn't a pint because they don't use ounces.
Right.
So, yeah.
It would
So
be a
it's
good
not the,
breakfast
like-
beer.
Yeah, and it's not because it's not super like.
It'll
you
wake
said,
you up, though,
Like
a
the
little.
tartness comes in there, and then it kind of finishes out. It smoothes out.
It's nice and
smooths
bright
out.
and
Smoothers
refreshing.
out.
It's bright and refreshing. Yes.
Yep. 4.9%.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Nice.
Nice. Very good.
I'm getting another flavor in the background after it like the tartness goes away, and I can't put my finger on it.
Earth?
I don't know about
I get sugar.
it's
Peach,
kind of
then
sugary.
sweet, then
yeah,
gone.
yeah.
Mhm.
There you go. I
Yeah,
like
it does.
that.
I like the sweet at the end. It does end sweet,
But
which
it,
I think.
it goes away.
Yeah,
It
and
dries
that's
up.
that's what makes it so drinkable. Is that the sweetness cleans it up. And it's nice to drink a sour where I don't feel like I'm gonna have some heartburn in a little bit. I don't feel that with
The
this.
total
Yeah.
acidity is not enormous on this one. I mean,
Yeah.
it is brighter than a lot of the lambics we put out.
Mhm.
But the total acidity is not huge because it's a lower alcohol beer.
Right. Right.
Some of them are so punchy that you will need some
Yeah.
antacid.
Yeah.
So you guys have developed quite a portfolio of lambics here.
Yes.
Which is your favorite and which is the best selling?
Ooh.
My favorite is probably this one.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thus far, this is my favorite one.
And which one sells the best?
This one and the Creek are back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's still early to tell. I mean, it's only been a year since we actually released our first lambic. May of 2014 released the Creek. And yeah. So,
It will be nice once let a year or two pass and then we can come and do verticals of these
Yeah.
and try them at
Ooh.
different
Yeah.
stages.
I'm in.
And we started corking and capping instead of just capping. So we can actually horizontally age them and start batching ahead and packaging and laying them down and packaging and laying them down. And you can actually do this at home as well and actually package them, or not package them, but lay them down for horizontal aging. You'll get more funkiness. You'll have a lot larger surface area. So any oxygen that's in there is going to react a little bit more quickly.
Right. Right.
The cork allows you to do that because if you do that with a capped bottle, it will actually rust the cap. It will eventually work
Oh.
through the plastic and rust the cap.
Cap and then, yeah.
So,
Interesting.
hear that, boys and girls?
Not good. You don't want rust in your
No
beer.
horizontal aging unless it's corked.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Is that the same for wine too?
Yeah.
Because
I would
there are
imagine.
some wineries that use the plastic
Well,
corks
that's
now.
plastic kind of eliminates everything. The plastic won't get compromised by horizontal aging. But the purpose of the aging on the side is because of the cork to keep it slightly moist so it doesn't get
Dry out
compromised.
and crack
Yep.
and stuff. Yeah.
So you can horizontally age a plastic corked wine bottle, but it won't really make a difference unless there's oxygen in there reacting, which is usually a negative effect
So
Which you
why
don't
would
want in wine.
a brewery or a winery, why would they choose plastic corks over?
because plastic is a better seal. A plastic cork. Oh yeah. Don't judge a wine by its plastic cork.
Yeah. So it's actually
Yeah.
better.
I've actually
Oh, yeah.
heard that before.
Well,
too.
yeah.
That it's not
Better is relative.
I imagine it's
Touche.
cheaper. Isn't cork relatively expensive?
It really, really good pure cut cork is not like processed.
Right.
Like sometimes they'll take the cork and remove all the impurities and squish it back together with polymer.
Right.
That makes it still less expensive than a pure cut cork that has no impurities in it. So the long cut corks that are in really expensive wine bottles are the best,
Right.
but they are ridiculously expensive.
I can imagine.
So we use conglomerated corks in the lambics. They're the best for the price because I'm looking to find ways to keep the end user's cost down.
Right.
Anything that I have to spend more money on costs 3 times more to the end user.
Right. Right.
Because of all the tiers.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Cost me 2 cents more, it costs you 6 cents more.
Right.
or
$2,
or
$6.
round it up to the nearest dollar is usually the way it works.
Yeah.
Cost me 2 cents, cost you $2.
Exactly.
I know.
So anything I can do to keep the cost down, I'm going to try to do.
Right.
Because remember, I got in this because I like sours and they're expensive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to try and keep the price down and ruin the market.
Yeah, totally. Just dominate.
Take that, competition.
So are you still talking about doing a lambic only tasting room downstairs? Is that still
We'll see. Well, it'll be sour only.
Sour
Not necessarily
only?
lambic. I want to have the lambic style as it is on hand pump at some point. But generally, we only have 1 or 2 lines up here on. So the draw isn't really there for a full-time tasting room, like 7 days a week the way we do here for regular beer. But maybe weekends,
Yeah.
sure.
And
Maybe.
you've been doing the sour Sundays once a month. How's that been going?
Awesome. Yeah, we just had our second one. The first one was an eye-opener.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
See, so there is the draw. There are
Yeah.
people that want to
There
come.
are. Not every day, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Sour Sunday is definitely fun. Yep.
I think sour beers is like a segment that not everybody's into. Some people take some time
But
to come
once
around.
you are into
Once
it,
But I
you're
think
there.
people who like sour beers are going to be like, I want to try all your sours. I want to do that. I want to get the craziest, funkiest, weirdest,
Speaking from personal experience, Wayne is correct.
Yes.
But this is more traditional, so this is more like a consumption beer.
Yeah.
This is like what you would drink in Belgium. You just drink the crap out of it.
Right.
Lunchtime, who cares?
Yeah.
3
Well,
pints.
yeah. And this is something, and for at least from my perspective, I haven't tasted a lot of sours that I would think would necessarily pair well with food. But because this is a little easier drinking and it finishes clean, you
Yeah.
could drink this with
That's
the
a
meal.
good point.
Chicken,
Oh, yeah.
chicken, fish, things
Yeah.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
Tofu.
Salad,
Chicken fish.
tofurkey.
Tofurkey.
it would go well with tofurkey,
And
actually.
the elusive chicken fish.
Yep, exactly.
Turducken.
Turducken.
Turducken. Nice.
Actually, I had a really spectacular. It was rabbit braised in Dreifontein and goose.
Nice.
And what beer did you have with that?
I had the intense red from Dreifontein, followed by Sweat Bee. It was awesome.
Was that the most memorable meal of the
Yes, yes, it was.
trip? Fantastic.
Yep.
I want to
Business trip?
Yeah. We can
We,
do it.
we need to sell more t-shirts.
A lot more.
Yeah. This
Rich
is
is
true.
out there at the table.
Please buy t-shirts so we can go to Belgium.
Yeah.
Pushing shirts.
Yeah.
You got to sell more T-shirts, Rich, so we can go to Belgium.
We want to go to Belgium, so sell more shirts.
Hustle.
So moving on, this is a beer
Yes.
that I think would pair even better with tofurkey.
The Whit.
White.
White.
Long eye.
Somebody. Yeah.
It wasn't my idea for the name.
Was it written incorrectly on my sheet, or is there no E at the end?
No.
No E.
Okay, so
It's a
long,
WH long I T. There's a big
long
horizontal
IT.
line.
Not
on
to be
top of it.
confused with Long Island.
No, not at all.
Ooh. Oh, this smells great.
Wow, I never thought I'd hear Dan say that.
I
This
know,
one,
right?
This one's got a lot more acidity.
Yeah, you can feel it.
Yeah, it does.
You can feel it.
Wow.
But the
Wow, that's really bright.
You know, the
I
tartness on-
haven't had this in a few weeks.
the tartness on this one doesn't stick around too much at the end. But
nice.
there's almost like a kind of like a hoppy flavor that helps clean it up.
There's a kind of dryness, I think.
Like
in the
yeah,
end.
I guess like a dryness
little
would be the
bit.
best way to put it.
And it is less of the like jowly, puckery tart, and more, I think, of the
Tart.
Freaking sour.
deeper,
Yes.
like the deeper,
Like
like
the
I feel it. in
Sour
my
Patch
chest.
Kids.
Yeah.
oh
yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This
Less of the fruity. Yeah.
This was created for the Philly Beer Scene Awards last year by Matt Falco. He's the one that named it. It's a wild fermented wit beer with white cranberries. How's that?
Oh,
That's
Yeah,
a
wild
lot of
cranberries.
Wah.
but they all got to be whis.
This
So it's
is
a wild fermented
White.
witch beer with white
It's like
cranberries.
knock it off.
Sorry, I know that sounds like crap.
It's
doesn't
almost
it?
as bad as the plosives.
Yeah, sorry. I have an
I'm gonna get you another pop
I
filter.
know. I was going to say he needs triple pop filters.
I have an obnoxious voice. I apologize.
No.
So is this a once and done beer?
No, this was made last year for the Philly Beer Scene Awards, and
I feel like you just said that.
yeah, I did.
Maybe if Steph
I
was listening.
may have.
Yeah.
No,
And,
but I mean for the Philly Beer Scene Awards, and that's it, or you're going to brew it again?
Well, this is the second batch.
Oh.
We made just a small batch for that. We made more than he asked for, so we put some of it in French oak Chardonnay barrels
Nice.
on red cranberries for an additional year, and we released that in limited quantity because there really only was a few sixtels for promotional for this year's Philly Beer Scene Awards. And on top of that, we brewed a much larger batch of this particular version, which is this beer in front of you. And it's extremely popular within the Philly market because only the Philly people knew about it. Anybody in the industry that was at the Beer Scene Awards knew about it. So when we released it again, they, of course, wanted to get some of it. But my personal favorite is the part of the batch from last year that we aged in the French oak Chardonnay barrels for an additional year with the red cranberries. It's a superior beer, in my opinion. This is bright and it really pops, but the long-term aging on the red cranberries mellowed it out. It's more of a rounded beer. It's just more complex and a superior beer. So this year, we're brewing this again and putting it in a whole lot more barrels with a whole lot more red cranberries. So next year, it will only be that way because I do get to put my foot down once in a while.
Will it still be called white then?
Actually, I don't know. I want to
red.
talk to Matt about that because it's extremely
Red.
confusing.
Yeah.
We have a beer, a Belgian white. It's called Destiny's Wit, and a wild wit that's called white. It's not at all confusing.
Wild wit.
Yes,
How about red, but with a long E?
but this is a very Philly-centric beer, so maybe we just deal with it.
Yeah.
It has a very unique label.
Just
It's
deal with
all
it,
by
yeah.
itself. It was designed by Matt and his designer, and it
Yeah.
works. And maybe we'll just leave it alone.
It's so Philly, it's brewed with water.
Yeah, water.
Yeah. Water.
Water.
It was
I still call it water.
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 Crick.
Yeah.
Is that a creek or a crick? Yes. Yes, it is.
Yes.
Both.
It's filled with water.
Water.
We're proud to be from this area. Damn it.
Water.
Make fun of our language.
Scrapple.
Scrapple. I like Scrapple.
With apple butter or without?
Either.
I like ketchup.
Ketchup. Yes, thank you.
I'm not actually big on ketchup, on much of anything.
Get out.
What? I put ketchup on
He
everything.
doesn't. My son doesn't like ketchup on much stuff
What?
either. No.
See?
No.
You know how it is.
His brother, although, makes up for it.
Yeah, put
I was
ketchup
gonna say
on
every kid
anything.
needs to put ketchup on like everything.
Yeah. And his sister. Ketchup, ketchup, ketchup.
Ketchup.
Food is a vehicle for or condiments. Or food is a vehicle for condiments.
That's right.
So,
Oh,
one more.
this
Different-
smells like it's going to get me drunk.
Oh boy.
This might get you drunk.
Whoa, my God. Holy
Oh, yeah, it does.
What?
Yeah.
What is this?
You know, it's
creation?
funny. It didn't smell that much like this when it was first poured.
No, it
But
didn't.
now that it's warmed up a bit,
It smelled more sour, and now
it's
it
sour
smells
and
more
fruity, and now
alcohol.
it's
Yeah.
bourbon and
ABV.
This one's a little over 7.
I
Ish.
love it's 7-ish.
Seven-ish.
I would have
approximately 7.
thought a lot
There's a
more.
lot of ish in brewing.
Well, I like when you described the beer you brewed in Belgium. You said it was saison-ish.
Yes.
I have that in my notes.
There's a lot of ish. I think Jeff and I said ish probably a total of about 150 times that day. Yeah.
I
In
love
fact, I want to make the beer with him and call it the ish.
The
it.
ish.
Ish.
I like that.
Ish needs to be in
This
the title.
beer
Yep.
is the ish.
Exactly. What is it? It's the ish.
It's the
You're
ish.
done.
It's the ish. So this is Cuvée
Cuvée de Agré.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a completely barrel fermented sour beer. Same culture as the lambics, different grain bill, and it's 100% aged in French oak barrels, mostly red wine. There's a little bit of white wines blended in there.
You know, you don't get the bourbony, alcohol-y
And the taste,
flavor.
no, it's really
no.
in the nose and not in the taste, but
But
This
I,
is poured on cask, so this is like almost room temperature
Ooh.
and still.
and yeah,
Yeah.
mhm. And I like it. It's,
Yeah.
And it's
really
so
good.
drinkable.
Yep.
It really is.
This is why I get drunk when I come here.
Yeah.
And there's 18 beers on draft.
Yay!
Actually, there's 23 right now.
oh my God, this is really good though.
I like this. I like it has this kind of has like a wine quality for me. Maybe it's because it is on cask and it's
Yep.
still like you
Still,
said.
yep.
And that nice,
and
sweet, fruity aftertaste.
It's warmed up, yeah. And it's almost got like a slight. I'm getting like a hint of maple syrup actually.
Yep.
in
That's
there.
probably the oxidation from sitting out for the last 45 minutes.
Oh, you think? Well, that makes it sound bad, but I didn't think it was a bad thing.
Oh, no, a lot of sours, because of the long-term aging, are very subject to quick oxidation.
Right.
So you leave them out, even 24 hours, and you do time lapse, they'll actually drop in color. They'll get darker
Oh,
and
really?
darker overnight. Yeah.
Oh wow.
They're very
Huh.
delicate.
Wow. Did not know that.
Science.
There it is. Thank you.
I think we have some breaking news.
Breaking news.
So this is Bart
enough.
Hophead's gear.
Hi, everybody. I'm back.
Back again.
So Bart won
Motown
the
Philly.
final raffle choice of the night, and he got one beer.
I did get one amazing beer.
Yeah, it doesn't wrap it.
Yeah, I definitely have
Did
to.
you put the tape on
I did, yeah, because it was shipped from Europe.
before you put
you
it
put
in
it up
its
your-
storage container?
Oh yeah, I just left it on. Screw it. I'll remove it later.
Now, how hard was it to fit in? That's what I want to know.
What the? Oh.
I have a kind of a remembrance of Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I did tell somebody I smuggled that in my ass.
I had this bottle up my ass for 3 months.
This uncomfortable hunk
So
of
it's worth
glass.
even more. You need to save that bottle cap.
So we should tell our listeners. I don't know how
Absolutely.
much of this is making it into the actual episode.
Probably all of it.
Okay.
well,
fair
this
enough.
has to make it
Yeah,
in. This
this
is
is a
epic.
huge thing.
This is absolutely
We need
epic.
to tell our listeners what we're about to drink.
So, Steph, why don't you do the honors?
John's going to tell us.
Or
'Cause I'm
John,
taking
why don't you
pictures.
do the honors? 'Cause
Probably
Steph
a
is
good
searching.
This is Westy 12. If you don't know what that is, you can turn off your headphones. Done.
I just want to say to our listeners, I don't actually use Untapped personally. Obviously, I do the Beer Busters. Well,
This
I don't
will
do the
get
Beer
checked
Busters
in.
Untapped, but everything the Beer Busters check in is when we drink together. So I've drank all those beers. So Beer Busters and Bart, and I don't know if John does Untapped. If you're gonna
Occasionally.
occasionally, I
feel like it's warranted.
we're about to like totally dominate Untapped. So all our Untapped friends out there, you know, we've got pictures. This is true. We're not making it up.
It's not fake.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Kevin Keller, that you're not here. We love
Yeah.
you.
I know, Kevin.
We would almost pour out a little bit for you, but we're not going to do
As
that.
long
Yeah,
somebody's
Kevin. If
mouth
this
is under
wasn't
it.
if this wasn't a Westy 12, we'd be pouring it out for you, brother. But I just want to dedicate this to John and everybody here at Free Will.
Yeah.
And also to my friends, the Beer Busters.
Thank you. So kind.
Absolutely. I like I was telling you at the Little Big Beer Festival, the Beer Busters are a gem in this
thank you.
world of craft beer. I've met some amazing people, including John, and including Seth, including Mike Weiser at Free Will, and including all you guys. So
Yes, Mike, we wish you could be here tonight, but we're having one for you.
And
I know,
Mike
Mike,
wishes he
yep.
could be here, and he's probably really crying right now.
Probably.
I texted him today, and he was pretty salty. So
We probably just made a bunch of enemies.
yeah, absolutely.
Aw. No, and this is for our listeners too.
This one,
Okay.
yeah, this one
This
goes
is
out to all you
episode
guys.
60, guys.
And now they're
episode
not upset
60.
too.
Wow.
And it is an 11.2 ounce bottle, so.
Oh.
All right, I'm cracking it.
Divided by
There
Here we
5.
go. Here we go.
Moment of truth.
Boom.
Ah!
There it is.
Oh, man.
Watching some Belgian homebrewer that really tricked us.
Doesn't matter. We can still check it in.
I got this
Yeah, that's
after
true.
hours, not officially from a friend at a bar who's not supposed to sell to off-premise consumption.
Oh.
So yeah,
Illegal maneuver.
yep,
And you smuggled it into the United States. I love it.
in my ass.
In your ass.
So not only is it this beer, but it was in John Stemler's ass.
And if it was going to be in anyone's ass, I mean,
It's going to be
That's right.
John's.
It's worth even more.
yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you have to do what you got to do.
That's right.
Oh, look at it pour.
There it is.
Foam.
I don't know. Are we looking pretty even there?
Sure.
Yes, you
Close
did a
enough
great
for
job.
government.
We're all
All
friends
right.
here.
We
Now,
are.
Bart, you need to take the one that is the fullest,
Yeah.
especially
All right, which
since
one's
you have a
that?
hotel room and you legitimately won the beer.
Yeah, this is your beer.
All right, Bart's picked his.
Everybody else,
All
pass
right.
them
Now
out.
that it's poured, do you want to sit down, or are you just going to keep?
I'm going to stand.
All right. It's going to stand.
He probably has the pizza.
Oh, smell it.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
So, John, what can you tell us about this beer?
Before anybody drinks it,
You can't have it.
I'm not giving it back now.
Ooh, there's some floaty bits, Wayne.
All right, maybe I
love
will
me
sit
some floaty
down.
bits. Yeah, you
been
got
a
to
long
sit down
day.
for this. All right, so we gotta
Yes.
proast this
Oh,
way.
yep.
Even if you gotta stand up and get away from your microphone.
Hold on, I need to.
Colonel Clink?
Well, thank you so much, Bart,
Yeah,
for
thank you,
sharing
Bart.
this beer with us.
Absolutely, guys.
I really didn't expect you to be like, "Hey, let's crack it open," because like, it's,
Well, I may have asked.
I thought you were
yeah,
gonna.
you can so.
I figured you were just gonna run out the door with it.
Yeah, you know what though?
But it's
No
super
better
awesome.
people than the thing about with beer and especially with craft beer is sharing with people.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
I would absolutely. I mean, sometimes I do like to drink by myself, but we won't talk about that.
And with a candle.
In a bubble bath.
And a loaded gun. No, I'm just
As
kidding.
long as it's not a gun. In the dark with a candle with a gun.
But
Engine beat.
no, absolutely. The best thing about with the craft beer and the craft beer world is absolutely sharing with other people. And I won this beer here tonight because of John bringing it to the
Yes.
United States. And you guys are here to share it. And you know what? We're going to brag to the rest of the world right now that we're drinking it and they're not.
Yes.
So what better time to do it?
Absolutely.
So cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers
Cheers to you.
indeed.
Cheers.
I can't reach, but clink, clinky, 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 clinky. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's nice.
Oh my
That
God.
is.
I'm seeing stars.
Good.
Wow. Wow.
Oh my God.
It's delicious.
I don't know what to say about
It's a fantastic Belgian. It definitely has that European bite to it that
You feeling the warmth?
I am.
It only takes about a
Absolutely
minute.
am.
Yeah.
What is the ABV?
12-ish.
Is it? Yeah.
10, 10, 12.
It's like 4 for me.
Yeah, 4.5.
It's so smooth.
It's not spicy enough.
This is the definition of smooth.
This will be so much better with habaneros. in it.
Yes.
Put peppers in this.
Yeah, put some damn peppers in.
Shut the hell up.
There's a monk dying
The
right
kids
now.
are gone. I can swear at you
there's a
again.
monk dying right now. It's turning in his grave.
They brew this beer for the preservation of their society at West Fletcher. They brew to live. That is their thing.
Right.
They don't actually want this beer sold, other than to them from them directly to support their operations there.
Right.
Beyond that, you're not supposed to sell it. The
Right.
black market, anybody that gets it and sells it, is going to hell. Apparently.
Yeah. Well.
No, they're very, very honest and true to their craft, and they do a good job. Of course, I bought it. Not from them.
So we're all going to hell now?
Yes.
I think it was very noble of you, by the way, to just go ahead and raffle it off, especially for a good cause tonight.
Yeah, for sure.
We brought this and one other bottle back, and this one was for the brewery to share, and we decided it was better to go to a good cause to support another brewery. Kind of fits their model, and we're just going to share the other bottle probably, unless something comes up like this before then, in which case we'll give that away too.
Aww.
I did have it on draft. I don't know how the keg managed to get its way out of the monastery.
Yeah, that's a little more.
Anyway, that's even
That's
more
a
questionable.
giant
Something's a
orifice
little
right
shifty.
Andre the Giant.
Yeah, really.
He might have been able to smuggle it in.
A lot of squeezing.
Well, this was an amazing night, and I'm happy that we could even be a part of this great cause.
Yeah.
And hopefully they will get themselves back up on their feet, and
Yep.
the brewery will
sure
be
they
back
will.
to full power soon.
They are
and
brewing and operating. They're a little behind in construction, and they're behind in funds.
So to our listeners, go out, support them, go get this collaboration beer. It's going to be amazing. Go see John and bug the hell out of him during Philly Beer Week. Make him talk to you. He's a super awesome guy and has some great
maybe
stories.
if he's got another bottle stuck up there somewhere.
Maybe when he forgot
Yeah, if
about.
some people start coming up and trying to fill your ass up.
Been aging for a while.
You might be able to make a lot of money doing this.
Yeah.
New Channing Tatum dick race.
Oh my.
Oh, it's that part of the episode.
And it all went downhill from there.
So, John, are there any Philly Beer Week and or other events that you want to quickly plug before we wrap up?
Sure. All of them, yes.
You can actually go
really
to
cool.
you can go to phillybeerweek.org and
Yep.
search by brewery.
Yes.
So whatever John doesn't have written down or remembered, you can look on the website and it will all be there for
Which
you.
is most of it.
Yeah, and if you do go out, like I said earlier, make sure you keep us in the loop. Info at beerbusterspodcast.com. Post on our Facebook, on our wall, or anything like that. We want to know what your experience was, because there's no way we could make it out to all of them.
Yes.
Even if we had a team of like 1 million people. Maybe 1 million, but you know. But definitely let us know. So what about like online presence for Free Will or social media? Do you guys have all that stuff set up?
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Website's pretty good now as far as keeping up to date with things. But social media, Facebook, the business page is extremely important for us. No garbage advertisements.
Good.
White meat only.
White meat only.
Well, and of course, any links that you would need are going to be linked off of beerbusterspodcast.com as well. And I don't think there's very few times where I've been as sad as to say that this is the end of another episode of Beer Busters Podcast. It's been a ride, to say the least, and it's been fun with our quickest repeat guest that we've had. John, thanks for having us out here.
Well, Bart's a pretty quick repeat now too. 'Cause
Yeah.
he was
True,
on
he was
the
on last
same
time
day
too.
as John
But
was last
John
time.
broke, John broke the
That's
record.
right,
though.
yeah.
But John was here first, I guess.
Yeah.
What you doing next week?
Wait, Friday night. I think I'm going to show up.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
that's
Bart
right.
might be
Canal
back
Street?
on.
Yeah, come to Canal Street.
Oh, that's not that far.
All right, cool. It's going to happen.
Nice.
Well, as always, I'm Dan Baker, joined by my co-host and
Bring whatever's up
zoologist.
your ass.
Sorry, I'm checking in my beer on
It's
Untapped.
okay. I just have to play the intro
yeah.
music again. Now I have to vamp for another 45 seconds. So
Here.
it's cool.
Lead me in again.
What? Okay. Well, hold on. I have to hit the thing again. So, end of
This is
another
a
episode
professional
of
production.
Beer Busters podcast.
Thank you.
John, thanks for smuggling beer up your ass.
Sure. Anytime for you, buddy.
I hope you play both of these.
Oh, definitely. This is all.
Bart, thank you for sharing the ass beer.
You're welcome. There's
you
nobody
to
else
Jacob
I would
and
rather
Nathan.
share my ass beer with.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay.
I feel
there's-
warm and fuzzy. I don't
All
know.
right. All right. We've got 20 seconds. I'm not playing another time.
Okay.
Steph Hefner.
I'm Dan Baker, joined by my co-host and virologist,
Steph Hefner.
and our from entertainer.
Wayne.
I know this. Wayne Baker.
All right. As usual, no squids were harmed in the making of this episode. Until next time, my friends, go drink some ass beer.
Hey, we didn't do favorites.
The ish.